Hey guys, Paul here. Welcome back to the channel. So today I have this latest version of instrument cluster display for Tesla Model 3 and Model Y to share with you. This is something new. This is probably one of the most integrated display I have seen so far. It has this really cool design that fits in the car and also built-in air vent, so it transfers the air from the car air vent so you can get that AC in front of you. Also has so many functions like Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, autopilot warning, blind spot warnings, and optional front forward camera, and so much more. So in today's video, I'll show you what comes in the box and then step-by-step installation, and we'll test it out and see how it looks in my Tesla Model Y. Now let's go. Alright, let's see what comes in the box of this new integrated instrument cluster display from Test Studio. Here what came in the box. Let's check out the main display first. As you can see, on the top of the display is this leatherette with very nice stitching on the top part. Looks really high quality, and this is the display itself. So this part is the display with a built-in speaker, and I believe this is one of the slot is for SIM card. I'm not sure if the display is compatible with the 4G SIM card, and another slot is for the micro SD card, and this is the USB-C port. And this is the bottom of the display. You will have to attach the display to the dashboard, and this is the cable that will connect to all the data and power cable to the OBD port from the car. If you ask, is the huge display, will it block the airflow for the front passenger or for the front driver, you know, where the front of the steering wheel is? It will definitely block it, but it has this integrated built-in air vent. As you can see, this is the back of it. So this is where you slot into the front air vent part, and the top of the display. I'm sure you can see this part right here, all around to this all of the air vent. So this is the second display that I have a review with a built-in air vent. I think this one is a little bit better because the previous one I reviewed has the built-in air vent on the bottom part of the display, but this one has it on the top part. For sure you will get a little bit more airflow from this display. Alright, so that's display part, and this is the wire harness that came with the display. So this will connect to a front passenger side panel with the 20-pin plug right here, and also the power plug. So the white one is to get the power, and the blue one is to get the data to the display. And if you have the older car, any older car with the Intel, sometimes it doesn't have the side panel, but my 2021 Model 3 with the Intel has this side panel, so you still can use this. But if you have like 2020, I believe 2020 and older car, you probably have to connect to the main computer unit just right underneath the glove box. Alright, so that's the wire harness. So this is the adapter that you connect from that wire harness to the display, and this is the metal bar bracket. So this will lock the display in place with the dashboard, and came with all the screw for attaching the display to the dashboard, and a plastic plier too. Alright, now we saw everything that came in the box. Let me show you where you can get this new integrated display. You can get this new integrated display from Test Studio or teststudio.us, and there are two different options here. You can get the one without camera like I have, and the display with the camera. Test Studio also offer installation service. They have physical shop in Tustin, California. So check them out if you are in the area, and if you interested in the display, you can use my special discount code DADDAD for extra discount. So this is the cost of the display after the discount. And if you don't have PayPal account and you would like to use just regular credit card, you can also use the credit card by signing in a PayPal as a guest, and you can type in your credit card information now. Let's go and install it in my Tesla Model Y. Before we start the installation, you will need a few things here. You will need masking tape and a few plastic trim removal tools. You can get these from Amazon.com. I'll try to put the link in the description down below. Now let's get started. So we'll have to access this part of the passenger side. So we have to remove the rubber seal first. This is really easy to remove. There's no glue to it at all. You can just put it back in. Don't worry about it, being leaked after you put it back in, because I never have an issue removing and putting these back in. And then you have to remove this panel right here, and this panel, and this long panel, and we have to remove this panel. Same thing on the other side, so we can detach and remove the dashboard. After you remove the rubber seal, next just use one of the trim removal tool to remove this side panel. There's no screw to this at all, just 3 clips. This will basically hold the dashboard together and this part. And then same thing here, no screw, just pull it right out this panel. Now we have this full access right here. Okay, if you have newest Tesla Model Y, this is Model Y long range 2023 Austin factory. This was delivered in May, like towards the end of May. You would have to unscrew this one screw on each side right here. It should be T20 to unscrew it. Then after you unscrew, then you will be able to lift and remove the dashboard. Make sure you unscrew it first, otherwise if you try to remove without unscrewing it, you might break this wooden part. Next, remove this same panel on the other side. So use the same to remove it, and make sure you unscrew that torque screw on both sides. Now we can remove the dashboard. Just pull it up and towards yourself, and then you'll be able to remove the whole dashboard. As you can see, now we can remove the whole thing all the way out. Now we have to take the dashboard out, and I'll show you how to attach the display on the dashboard later. Next, before we can remove this door seal panel on the side, make sure you remove one plastic clip first. So use one of the tools to remove it, and use this one right here. It's like so, just try to apply it out, and that's it. It's really easy to remove this one. Now we should be able to pull this one up. So after that, everything else just locking clips. And you can just take the whole thing out. And there's one more plastic clip right here. You can just use the same tool again and remove it out. Now you will have the full access to that side panel on passenger side OBD port. Just pull this one out, and then let me show you real quick. You see that blue port right there? It's open port, so you don't have to unplug anything. Only thing you have to unplug is this one right here. This is where you get the power from the car to power the display, and that port is actually supplying all the data from the car to the display. Now before we plug and unplug, let me show you how to install the display on the dashboard first. Now let's try to install the display on the dashboard. So this part, you will need the display itself and the bracket that came in the package and all the screw that you need to secure the display to the dashboard and small screwdriver. I would suggest to find a soft surface to install the display on the dashboard, like your rug or carpet. That would work. Now first thing first, I kind of pre-measure where to insert the first wire here, because we have to measure where the display is going to be. You see right here, this the steering wheel column, so we try to aim in the middle of this steering wheel column. So just count from this AC vent spot right here, from here to here, so it's 19 slots. Just count to 19 slots. That's where we are going to put in the first cable. So we need 1, 2, and 3 slots to put 3 cables in, and then we have these 4 slots right here. You can see 1, 2, 3, 4. These will lock the display in place and then secure the display on the dashboard. So first, just put in the cable, the first cable from the right, or the left, my bad, from the left to the slot that we marked. See, you have the red, first red here, and see yellow and black, and just try to put these to the bottom part of the dashboard. Now we just try to insert, as you can see, try to insert those locking clips. And make sure you aim it to the right spot. There you go. Before we secure it, let me show you where I put my that first slot. It's hard to see. There you go, that first one. So basically, count from this first open one to number 12, and that is the first one, and everything else should fall in place. Let me show you again. I think I moved a little bit, so it looks more like the middle to me compared to the steering wheel column cutout. Alright, now let's secure with the screws. As you can see, I put the bracket on and then just screw those 4 small screws on to inside the bracket, and then just try to catch that sticks that came out through to the air vent from the display, and that's it. You secure the display in place. Now we are done with the display installation on the dashboard. As you can see, looks really nice and clean. Now we are ready to put the display back on the dashboard, but before that, let me show you how to connect the wire harness to the OBD port on the side passenger seat. Now let's connect the wire harness, but before you do that, I would highly recommend to turn off the car first. So you go to the main menu and go to safety, scroll all the way down and power off, and that's it. Now we can start to plug it in. First, we just use the blue plug from wire harness and then plug it in to that blue port right there. There you go. Now next is the power, which is this one right here. So we just have to unplug from the car. So this is how you get the power from the car to the display, and use these 2 wire ones. So just use the one from the wire harness from the display, and then plug it in, and then plug the one from the car back in to the one from the display. So this is the pass-through power, to pass through the power from the car to the display. This one is open port, so you have to do any pass-through to basically just plug it into the open port. Now you just have to run the wire from here in up and then along the dashboard. As you can see, I already have some masking tape on here, so I can easily manage the wire not to block these clips, so when we put back in the dashboard, it won't, block the clips from locking. All right, now let's run the cable. As you can see, I ran the wire up to the dashboard, and I tried to measure it so it's not too long, so I don't have to keep a lot of wires in here. It's just hard to manage the wire up underneath the dashboard. Just whatever remaining wires, just shuffle it here. It has more room underneath this panel, and I just put the tape on as much as I could, so it's easier to manage the cable up here. That's it. Now we just have to close everything down here because we're done with installing the OBD port wire. Now we just have to connect this adapter to the wire harness. That's it. Now we're ready to install the dashboard back with the display. Before we install the dashboard, let's connect the wiring first. As you can see here, the wire harness that we got has only two colors, black and red, but the display has three, black, red, and yellow. So the yellow one is for optional front forward camera, which this package doesn't have, but if you pick the one with the camera, this is where you connect your camera to the display. I'll put the link down below for my previous display review with the camera installation. Right, now we just have to connect red to red, and then of course black to black. Here you go. Now the display should power. As you can see, the display is powered up and showing the car and everything else. Now we just have to install the dashboard with the display back on. So when you install it, make sure this part it's slide into the air vent right here, so you get that airflow from this into the top part of the display. So you just shove it in and push the display, the dashboard back on, and now we are good to go. Now we just have to put this panel back on. Alright, the installation is done. Let's see how it looks in my Tesla Model Y. Oh wow, this integrated display looks really good. Much better than I thought. I just want to show you real quick before we go through the setting and the menu and test the display how good it looks. It looks really similar to the Model X and Model S. I love the advent on the top. I'll show you later. I tested out the advent too, and you see how it's super integrated onto the dashboard of the car. Look at this angle. You can see it looks really OEM and fits in perfectly to the car. It's probably the closer to the normal this size display. This is probably about 8.5, almost 10 inches display, or 10, I'm not sure. Only thing though, I would love for them to make the whole display as integrated as the whole space that it has instead of just a rectangle here, but it looks pretty good so far. Alright, let me test out the air vent on the top and on the side. This is the A4 paper that I cut it up. It's not just super lightweight paper, just regular A4, so it has some weight to it. Now let's test it out. Let's turn on the AC. Okay, so let's test out the close range first. As you can see, it blows out really hard from this built-in air vent, even on the side. So it has some air vent on the side too, as you can see. Now let's test out a little further out. So it's in front of the steering wheel, so it still blows really good. And even out here, you can still get the airflow from it. So this display takes a lot of airflow from the air vent in the front. So this will solve that issue. You know, a lot of people are complaining about the display block the whole airflow. Now that was solved because, you know, many people lives in the hotter climate, country and state. So you'll get that front forward to the driver airflow for sure. Even all the way out here, as you can see, it's still blowing the air. That is really awesome. Now let's go through all the setting and functions of the display. As you can see, if I set it up to dark mode, it looks really clean. You can't really see the edge of the display itself, so it looks like one blend in piece instead of, you know, plastic and the display. So it fits really well with the car. Now to go to the menu from this standing point and not shift and drive or reverse or neutral, you can just hold this right steering wheel button to the left, and then you'll go to the main menu. As you can see, you can set the language, time zone, the temperature unit, the time unit. You can do 12 or 24, and the speed limit, you can turn it on or off, and also tire pressure unit, and the color of the car you can change to from day or night mode, and the brightness, just, you know, I would just follow whatever the main display is, so it's not too bright and not too dark. And you can have the plaid switch, so basically it's you know, mimicking the plaid from Model S Plaid when you start from 0 to, I would say, past 60 or 50 or a few seconds. It's just really gimmicky. I'm not a big fan of it, but yeah. Next is Wi-Fi and OTA update and front forward camera. As I mentioned before, you can also connect this display to the front forward camera, so you can turn on and off right there. I turn off because I don't have the camera connected. And audio output and phone link. So the phone link meaning Apple CarPlay or Android Auto, so you can do split screen or full screen, so you can just tap to change. As you can see, the system will restart when you do a split or full screen. So those are all the settings that you can do on the display. Now as you can see, this is the full screen CarPlay, so you will not have any of the car information on the display when you do a full screen Apple CarPlay, so you can you know, have the whole thing as Apple CarPlay. Now let's go through the different UI on the display first. So when you shift the car to drive, neutral or reverse, the display will change to this. So I just shift to neutral because I'm in the garage. Now there are 3 different UI on the display. You can use this right scroll button on the steering wheels to change this menu right here. Now right now is the tire pressure, and then you go up and down. This is the distance on the autopilot, and this is Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, and the theme. So when you select the theme, just press to the left, press to the right there, and then you select, and then the theme will show on the bottom right there. So right now I'm at the theme in the middle, and then you can scroll it to change different theme, and then to select, press to the left, then you select the new theme. So this one have the speedometer in the middle and the car status on the right, and all the menus to the left, and you have range. So all of these status lighting are the same on each theme. You have all information, the range, on the mileage, and then the battery status, how many percent, and you have the odometer to the right, and also the temperature, outside temperature, to the right hand side, and you have all the car status on the top bar right here. And again, to change the theme, select, and then select change different theme. So this is another theme that you can select. Here you go. So you have the speed to the left, and you have the horsepower HP to the right. I'm not sure how accurate it is, but you still have all the status to the top and the bottom. So it's the same, and you have the gear selector and charge and power, so regen and power, and the menu, you know, change to the middle, the display instead. But then if you shift to drive, let me see, I think when start driving, then you still have the car status right here when you start driving. I like this one probably the most, and this one, yeah, but this is my favorite one, so I'm just gonna select this one. So you have the car in the middle, and you have speed limit, and you have the speedometer to the right, and the main menu to here. Everything else is the same here. This display also shows the animation when you turn the car. You can see when you turn the steering wheel off the car, the lane animation on the display will show that the car is turning. So it feels more engaging to the driving instead of, you know, just straightforward all the time. So it's really similar to what you have here on the main display of the car. Really cool. And of course, I have on the dark mode right now. You can also change to the light mode. Here you go. So this is the light mode. I personally like the dark mode better because the display will blend in to this whole integrated part of the display, so it does not look like, you know, another piece right in the middle of it. So you can see I can change to night. There you go. See, the night mode will looks like one piece. Looks really cool. So it doesn't look like, you know, the display right in the middle. It just looks like the whole thing is the display. All right, now we saw everything with the function and setting. Let me show you the CarPlay. So just use the right scroll wheel to select the CarPlay, and then select push to the right, and then we'll connect to the CarPlay. This is the full screen CarPlay. Let me change to the split screen real quick. There you go. This is the split screen CarPlay. So just like normal split screen, you have the whole status of the car to the right, and when you turn, you can see the car animation will turn with you still, even with the split screen mode on the CarPlay. And you can use all the apps that is CarPlay compatible, of course, not streaming service and Netflix or anything, because that would disturb the driving of the driver. Many people was asking about it, but yeah, you can't really use those streaming service on the CarPlay. And yeah, you can do Google Maps. Let's test out the audio on the display with CarPlay, because this display has built-in speaker. Let's do the music first. Wow, this is probably the best built-in speaker I have heard so far with the front display. So this is the sound from the built-in speaker. You can switch it to the car easily. So just on the phone, you know, select right here, and you can just switch it to your car and play. Boom. Now the sound is from the speaker in the car. See how easy it is to switch the audio output. Alright, so we saw all the setting and functions on the display. Let me show you how it looks while we drive the car. Alright, let's test it out here while I drive the car I put it on dark mode because that's my favorite. I already show you the light mode. It's really good so far. As you can see, really nice. And I can just control, as you can see, with the button right here. I can put on autopilot. So this is what it looks like when it's on autopilot. See blue here, and it's showing the warning. And let's test out the blind spot warning. See the car, it's on the side right here. Show this blind spot warning. Here you go. See the blind spot warning on the right hand side. Try again. Here you go. It shows again. It's a little hard to show for a long time because you can't only, pass the car that fast. But I just want to show you. See the car on the right hand side. I have to pass that car, so I show the warning. There you go. Now let's try to change the themes. Do while driving, try to drive as careful as possible here. So you change the themes. So it's really simple to do. Just use the scroll wheel on the right hand side. Looks really good. I kind of like that first one. Change the themes again. They all looks really clean. I think the first one, my favorite one, is the cleanest. So let's go to the CarPlay. As you can see here, you can use this scroll wheel to select options on the CarPlay too. You can change to CarPlay. Looks really good. The resolution on the display is awesome, as you can see here. So you don't necessarily have to reach out to use the touchscreen, so you can select stuff using the scroll wheel. And this is Waze on the CarPlay. And plus, I like the split screen much better than full screen because somehow you still have this information on your right hand side, and pretty much everything you need is still here. Just love the design, the look of the display. It's just integrated part. As you can see, it looks like what you see on the Model X and Model S. Looks super clean. Here's full screen CarPlay, so you get the full display with the CarPlay. As you can see, the lane in the middle will turn as you turn the steering wheel. Right, the display looks really good. Everything works great. Now let me show you what it looks like at night. As you can see in the video, this display offers so many good functions for the drivers, so you don't have to keep looking on the right to the main screen. And I love the design of this display. Love the integrated design with the air vents. As you can see, as I tested in the video, you get a lot of air coming from that built-in air vent. And yeah, let me know in the comment down below what you think about this display. I'll make sure to put the link of this display from Test Studio in the description down below, and also special discount code for you too. And don't forget to click like if you like the video. Don't forget to subscribe for more awesome contents like this. We'll see you on the next video. Peace.